Elephants and people had always lived peacefully side by side in a quiet rural village in India. But one day, when a mother elephant began acting in a strange and emotional way, the villagers realized something was wrong. It even looked like she was crying, as if she needed help. Curious and concerned, they followed her into the nearby forest. What they found there was so shocking, it left many of them just as shaken as the elephant herself. In the small village of Nimitand, seeing elephants wasn't unusual. The area sat deep in elephant country, so spotting these gentle giants nearby had always been a normal part of life. They were so familiar to the villagers that most didn't even react anymore when an elephant wandered across the road or munched on leaves near their home. To them, elephants were as common as dogs or cats in other parts of the world. The villagers tried to stay out of the elephants' way. They knew they were the ones living on land the elephants had known forever, so they did their best to respect that. The elephants, in return, seemed fine with sharing the space. They weren't aggressive, just aware and incredibly smart. Everyone knew elephants could feel deeply, and they often understood more than they let on. But one day, something unusual happened. A female elephant was standing right in the middle of the road that led out of the village. She was making loud noises and moving her trunk around like she was trying to get attention. When people tried to pass her, she blocked them with her trunk and stomped her feet hard on the ground. No one had ever seen an elephant behave like this before. Naturally, it caught everyone's attention. As more people gathered, they noticed something that pulled at their hearts. The elephant had tears running down her face. Clear, wet lines showed she'd been crying for some time. She was clearly upset, but no one could figure out what was wrong or how to help. Then, as if she knew they didn't understand, the elephant took the lead. Once a small group had formed, she swung her trunk toward the trees like she was asking them to come with her. Then she turned and started walking into the forest, stopping every now and then to make sure they were still behind her. And they were. They couldn't ignore the look in her eyes. Whatever was going on, they wanted to find out. If there was any way they could help, the villagers were ready. After all, the elephants had always let them live on this land, and now it was their turn to give something back. The elephant led them to a clearing where an old well stood, the same well that helped keep the nearby fields watered. Normally, it had a metal cover, but now it was gone. The mother elephant walked over and stood beside it, looking down. What the villagers saw made their hearts sink. At the bottom of the well, deep underground, was a baby elephant. It was clearly her calf. Somehow it had fallen in and gotten stuck. Thankfully, the water wasn't deep, and the little one could lift its trunk above the surface to breathe, but it was trapped, and without help, it wouldn't survive down there. The villagers didn't waste a second. A few of the men sprinted back to the village to call the animal rescue team. Not long after, a crew of professionals showed up with the tools and workers needed to help get the baby out safely. After assessing the situation, the rescue team decided they'd need an excavator to dig a sloped path so the calf could walk out. But there was a big problem. A storm was coming in fast, and the forecast warned of heavy rain. If that rain came down hard, it could trigger flash floods, and the water level in the well would rise quickly. Even just half a meter more, and the baby wouldn't be able to keep its trunk above water. It would drown. That couldn't happen. Everyone got to work right away, digging with their hands and whatever tools they could find until the excavator arrived. Progress was slow, but steady. Then, as the vehicle carrying the excavator rolled into the clearing, the sky rumbled with distant thunder. The mother elephant nervously paced nearby, watching every move, never taking her eyes off her calf. Meanwhile, a veterinarian climbed down far enough to check on the baby. She noticed cuts and scrapes from the fall, nothing too serious, but still painful and at risk of infection. She poured antiseptic over the wounds, and even though it must have stung, the baby waved its trunk gently, as if to say, "Thank you." They were all thankful the injuries weren't worse. One wrong landing, and things could have ended very differently. As the machine began digging, the vibration caused some bricks from the well's top edge to shake loose and fall. The little elephant moved around quickly to avoid being hit. The rescue team worked to remove any more loose bricks so none would fall on him by accident. And then, just as feared, the sky opened up. Rain poured down in heavy sheets, some of the hardest they'd seen in years. But instead of slowing down, the rain only made everyone work faster. They dug with everything they had. The dry dirt turned to thick, sticky mud that clung to their boots and made the excavator wheels slip. But thankfully, the machine kept going. They didn't give up. After a long, tense hour of digging, they had finally carved a ramp-like path that reached the bottom of the well. Now all they had to do was break open the wall so the calf could walk out on its own. The excavator pulled back, giving the rescuers room to move in. They quickly grabbed their tools and began hammering at the brick wall, breaking it down piece by piece. It took serious effort, but after a while, cracks began to form. Then, sensing her baby was about to be freed, the mother elephant slowly made her way down the embankment. She pressed her huge body against the wall, adding her strength to the effort. And then, with a loud crash, the wall gave way, and there was her calf. The baby elephant was finally free, but it wasn't safe just yet. The mother had climbed the muddy slope without too much trouble, but her little one couldn't manage it. His legs were too short, and the wet ground made it nearly impossible to get a grip. He slipped again and again. 5 of the rescuers jumped in, pushing with everything they had to help him climb the dirt path. Eventually, with one last effort, they lifted him up to level ground. The calf ran straight to his mother. She wrapped her trunk gently around him and let out a joyful, loud trumpet that echoed through the trees. Her relief and happiness were written all over her. The vet stepped in again, gave the baby a closer check, and offered a little medicine to ease any pain. Thankfully, he was okay, just a few scrapes and a bit shaken up. Everyone watching cheered as the 2 elephants slowly began to walk back toward the forest, the rain still pouring around them. But just before disappearing into the trees, the mother stopped. She turned back and looked at the rescuers one by one, her eyes steady and calm, like she understood exactly what they had done for her. If it hadn't been raining, the rescuers' tears would have been easy to spot. Tears of joy, relief, and pure gratitude. They had done something incredible, something they'd never forget. And the elephant, most likely, wouldn't forget either. From time to time, she and her calf would return to the village, not causing any harm, just standing quietly, watching life go by. It felt like their way of saying thank you. So now it's over to you. What did you think of this incredible rescue? What would you have done if you saw the mother elephant crying for help? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story moved you, don't forget to like the video, share it with someone who loves animals, and subscribe for more stories just like this one.